Gather round, ladies and neckbeards, for I have a story to tell about my somber weeaboo past. Why a story video this time, you may ask? Well, I've always heavily appreciated the fine art of storytelling. Why, when I was 3 years old, I ate an entire copy of Mother Goose's nursery rhymes. I ended up upchucking a whole woodchuck afterwards. This is a tale of one of my childhood's many brain-dead endeavors. This is a tale about the time I brought my anime bodypillow to show and tell. I want to legitimately promise that this story is dead-ass true. It was the beginning of 8th grade. After wasting my summer overdosing on kid cuisine dinners and using the pause camera in Smash Bros. Brawl to see up Peach's skirt so I could have something to wank it to, I was finally ready to be a cool kid. My new teacher was quick to give the class their first assignment. Show and tell, an odd activity for 8th graders, but our teacher was one of those unusual ones that would treat kids of all ages like they were extra young. She'd, put those cheesy-ass stickers on her homework and tests. Even when I'd get an F, there'd still be a giant star with a congratulations on it. I couldn't tell if she was trying to roast me or if she was just that positive. Now, having heard the words show and tell, my heart sank so low it slid right out my anus. It was always an activity I had been far from skilled at. Some of my infamous showings in elementary school were, I shit you not, a ball of my cat's fur because I couldn't bring in my actual cat, and a Thomas the Tank Engine train laced with chew marks. I was also garbage tier at talking in front of groups, especially when speaking about myself. Now, before going further into this story, I want to share a few details about my school. It was a decently sized public school known as Franklin Regional, located in the suburban area of Murraysville, Pennsylvania. This is the school district that had that mass stabbing back in 2014, in which a high schooler managed to shank 20 different students and a security guard. It was a super athletic, preppy, and mayo-heavy school. If you weren't athletic or a future OnlyFans legend, your popularity and loneliness were going to become the best of friends. Now that you are more knowledgeable about my school's lore, we can continue. Now, this was a show and tell that I would struggle more than ever over what to present. Basically, my hobbies were borderline non-existent. I was duller than watching anti-climb paint dry. As I lay in bed having difficulties with what to show while curled up next to my pillow, that's when it hit me. That pillow, an anime body pillow of Mikuru from the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, is what I would bring in. 13-year-old me figured a hot-looking girl like Mikuru would bring him and anime the respect they deserved. Mikuru was purchased at an anime convention known as Takoshicon, which my older cousin took me to. He introduced me to anime and waifus at a young age. That was uncommon for kids in that time period. Back then, not many Americans, especially younger ones, knew what anime was. Yeah, there was stuff like DBZ on Cartoon Network, but that was just another weird American cartoon to kids in my school. Instead of a weeaboo, I was just another ultra nerd. However, some of my hobbies caused them to gift me with a special nickname, Zard the Tard. While the mentally challenged aspect of this nickname hurt me, I took pleasure in the fact that people saw me like a Charizard. Now on the morning of the show and tell day, my mother spots me stuffing my body pillow into my backpack as I'm preparing for the bus ride. Shrieking in terror, she begs me to bring something else. However, her qualms were countered with me informing her that I was going to betray her wishes. A nervous part of me agreed with her concerns, but my better judgment was being squashed by the desires of finally having something unique to show. I then get on the bus, and everyone is wondering why my backpack is so bloated. Hey Zard the Tard, you got a dead body in there or something? If this was 10 years later, he probably would have thought it was full of AR-15s. Later on, it was finally time for me to bring out Mikuru for show and tell. Kyle, one of the jocks, just got done showing off one of his football awards. I frankly was surprised he didn't show off the nudes of his ex that he seemed to enjoy leaking around so much. And now would begin my nervous walk to the front of the room. Sweat started crawling down my back. My butt cheeks were getting so drenched that Moses could have split them like the Red Sea. While carrying up my bloated backpack, my classmates began to look puzzled. I then slowly creeped my hand into the backpack, unaware of the sheer terror that I would unleash. Then it happened. My teacher's face shifted to a completely shocked state. Mikuru was out of the bag. The classroom could not believe their eyes. The different pairs of eyes could not believe each other. Even Naruto couldn't believe it. With a long breath, I stuttered. This is my body pillow, Mikuru. Mikuru's entrance was quickly met with my teacher's pleas to cover her. Now I should mention that Mikuru was a slightly revealing body pillow. She is no longer in my possession, and I couldn't find any pictures online of her. So here's a body pillow that I felt matched her level of lewdness. I'm positive that most teachers would have failed me on the spot, but being an understanding person, my teacher gave me the chance to present her as long as I covered what she referred to as Mikuru's lady bits. The class was quick to erupt into a continuous laughter at this situation. Our class, while his lady friend may be an odd choice, we must be quiet so he can speak. I've had Mikuru for about 3 months now. She's from the Japanese cartoon, the melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. Technically, she's also from China since that's where the body pillow was made, but yeah, it's what's inside is what counts. This cringy dialogue was followed by someone shouting out, "Hey, is that a jizz stain on her?" Fortunately, my teacher was quick to put a stop to their nonsense. Sam, why don't you tell the class why you chose her and, what she tells us about you? I froze for a moment, unsure of how to properly express myself. I really liked this anime. I really connected with the main character Haruhi because she thinks there's too many normal people, in the world. Mikuru is my favorite though because she's really cute and, overall, I think me choosing her represents my desire to discover other unique people and how I feel different from everyone else. Okay, Sam, that was, certainly how you desire unique, I suppose. You may be seated. As I returned to my seat, everyone continued to stare at me like I was a furry at a hunting convention. The reality of my mistake began to shadow over me. Before lunch, I decided to place Mikuru inside of my locker. This would be my second fatal mistake. Kyle had set his scheme into motion. Having tailed me from the shadows, he witnessed me filling my locker with Mikuru. Being a grade A delinquent, he picked locks better than I used to pick my nose. He was able to smuggle Mikuru out of my locker with ease. Later that day, it was time for me to head home. I made my way to my locker, completely clueless to the tragedy that would be bestowed upon me. The locker door became opened. My cherished Mikuru was MIA. I nor my eyes could not believe it. Naruto wouldn't have believed it again either, but he was busy playing hooky for this part of the story. I panicked. I screamed. I shooketh. I went around asking multiple students like a dumbass if they had seen anyone carrying around a body pillow. Finally, in a joking manner, one dude told me that Mikuru was just chilling out front. Like a jaguar wearing Nikes, I struck a path to the front of the school. And just as I thought things couldn't get any worse, they dreadfully did. Normally on top of the school's flagpole, substitute toilet paper would wave in the wind. But this time, Mikuru was fastened to it due to Kyle's devious antics. In big black Sharpie, "Property of Sard the Tard" was written over her chest. Students from all over the school continued to surround the flagpole. Then some of the teachers and faculty began to gaze upon it. "Hey Zard, nice pillow, you weird-ass freak!" Suddenly, the principal came blazing out the front doors. "Whose offense to God body pillow is that?" The laughter among the students continued to reach new heights. It felt like my school career was finally over. Any sliver of a chance I had at popularity completely shattered. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I have an unfortunate confession to make. This wasn't the true story. I never actually had anything to present on Show and Tell. I willingly failed it. I told you that I presented a body pillow because it represents that I am a soft, fragile individual. Each of the individual feathers within the pillow represent the various kinds of filler I've tried to counter the hollowness within me with. It was a Mikuru pillow, not because I'm obsessed with the melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, but because I'm an anxious wreck like Mikuru is. The body pillow being raised to the top of the flagpole for everyone to see represents how everyone that passes by me or sees me instantly can recognize how dull and shallow my existence is. I'm just a drifter in the wind, hopelessly waiting to find meaning in my life. That mark on Mikuru that someone called a jizz stain? That was just a stain from my pathetic tears. Overall... Sorry, I just coughed up another woodchuck. Overall, I've told you this made-up story about not having anything to present at show and tell, because I felt like I haven't had anything relevant to show you guys, my viewers here at this channel. I apologize if I've betrayed your trust, but I lack the ability to express myself through other proper methods. I'm also sorry I can't show you guys anything that isn't void of meaning. I'm just a mess. However, there is one bright spot in all of this. I think that everyone can use this story as a powerful life lesson. We shouldn't try to fill the holes in our life with imaginary or fictional things. We should try to better ourselves by finding happiness through genuine relationships with others. If someone's being like Zard the Tard and they bring their body pillow in for show and tell, reach out to them. Ask them, hey, are you okay? Do you need a pal? Some people just need a good friend to get over their social awkwardness and anxiety. But most importantly, despite 99% of this story being fake, the part with beating off to the upskirts of Peach in the Super Smash Bros. Brawl camera, yeah, that part was true. What is crackin' Booty Brigade? I hope y'all consider me William Shakespeare after that one. Just want to give the usual Patreon thanks to Shin AMV if you want to support me on Patreon as well. Links to that are in the description below. Be sure to smash all that like buttons and everything and all that so I can have a few extra cents to pay for the surgery for the millions of copies of Mother Goose books that are stuck in my stomach that I've eaten over the years. And I also want to give a special thanks to Forma, Seth, and Drew a Concussion for helping me out with the video. Links to their channels are in the description below. I think that's about it for this time. Be on the lookout for more videos on the horizon. Peace out, Booty Brigade.